name is Ásta Fanney and we are here in Kling Bang with two artists that are in the current exhibition, Margréti Dúadóttur Landmark and Anne Carson. And we're here to talk about your work in the exhibition that's called Tears, or in Icelandic Dýpsta, sæla og sorgin, þunga. That's from like a poem from Ólöf frá Hlöðum. It's interesting to read this poem because he speaks that big emotions don't have the language with the tongue, and that the words are tears in a way. But this is like from the poem, and these big emotions are like that what connects all the pieces in the exhibition kind of together, or what they have in common in a way. So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel these kind of big emotions come across in your artwork?
Personally, I try to avoid big emotions in my art.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other pieces, your pieces, and Ragnar's painting have big emotions in them. I'm not sure the drawings that I did have.
Mm-hmm.
They're just mountains, really, not emoting at all.
No. But it's interesting because they're mountains, but then you're adding like a layer to it.
Mm.
And I don't know, I think it was maybe because I was thinking about this emotion, this idea of emotion, and then I felt like you were like painting this emotion onto some kind of like structure of nature or like these mountains. So because you have these colors and really kind of abstract, like putting them into these drawings. So I don't know, maybe I connected them to like different emotions.
Yeah, but you connect everything to emotions. Yeah. That's just the way you are. I don't think I do, but anyway, when I was making the drawings, putting the colors on was a completely mechanical action to make it look like I wanted it to look.
Yeah.
Not to express an idea. Maybe you want to express ideas in your sculpture. I don't think of doing that when I'm making a drawing.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me it's I like having these two opposite elements, and I like to use emotions as just like kind of pawns in that.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to find this harmony between those two. It's like a scale almost to make them work together.
Yeah, you were also working with this idea of like the search of harmony, and this kind of like searching that you were searching as an artist, or the pieces or something. Like, did you find it? Like, are you still searching?
I don't know. I think like this harmony has so many different pictures and different places. So maybe in these particular pieces I found the harmony, but there's so much more to explore with that, with also different parts than emotions. Maybe something more, mechanical also.
Yeah. It's funny also because when you look at your sculptures, they have this kind of tension in them, some kind of like a tension, like almost like an action. I find when I look at them, it's kind of like they're like when you're working with these kind of pawns, like where you're putting them together, it's like there's like this tension and almost like an action, like in this kind of like harmony, like this kind of balance, but still it's really like on edge. I find like when you, I'm kind of when I look at them, I'm kind of waiting something to happen.
Yeah.
like almost performative or something.
Yes. It's this because this harmony of these like two opposite things. It must be like fragile in some way because you can't find the harmony between those two without having some sort of a tension in there. So I seek for that also in my work, to have this
Suspense.
Yeah, suspense.
Yeah.
What's in the boots?
In the boots, I would say it's an idea of urine.
The idea of urine looks very like urine.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of has then kind of different outcomes, because when you look at it and you think, if you think it's urine, or you look at it if you think it's oil or something,
Yeah.
it completely changes what it is in a way.
Yeah.
But that's also what's interesting, this layer of imagination, like that is on your work, this kind of like, well, like, is this pee or is it like oil, or and also they're kind of inviting, in a way, like, at least when I was seeing it for the first time, I was thinking like, should I step in them? should I do it? This kind of like, and they're kind of like daring you also, like kind of like, I dare you to, try me on or something.
I'm glad you didn't.
I don't know. I'm also glad I didn't.
Although it's only the idea of urine.
Yeah, I guess.
But she and I were talking yesterday about how different it is for writers, this question of how much you want the viewer to know about the thing.
Exactly.
But if it were a written thing,
Yeah.
you might worry about having to explain what it is. You might worry about wanting the reader to know what you mean. It seems that's something writers have a problem with more than visual artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like with language, then you have, because everything is very, almost like it can't be really clear, because like words have a meaning. Of course you can like go around it in a way to make it vague, so it has multiple understandings. But I think it's a more tricky thing to work with, because it's so black and white. The ink is black and the paper's white. It's literally black and white.
Yeah, and it's this material that you use every day for a lot of other normal things, not a story, not poetry.
Yeah.
Not a description of boots with urine, but your
just
grocery list.
Yeah, making toast and
making
where's the
toast.
butter or something. But you work with like text in your series. It's like there's a text that comes with it. Like, how do you feel in that sense the language has, like, what is the role of the text or the language in that piece?
I could never figure out what the role of the language was, so that's why I asked Ingeborg to put it on the cards rather than put it near the mountain, near the drawings.
Yeah.
It's on those cards that are quite separate.
Yeah.
Because the story in the cards came about accidentally. I was trying to draw mountains, and at the beginning they kept turning into mermaids. So you're drawing of a mountain that turned, anyway. So I wrote a story about the mermaid, and then the story about the mermaid sort of hovers on top of the mountains, but they're not an explanation of each other, and I don't quite know how to direct the viewer to see the relation between them.
No.
So they're just there.
Yeah.
And the mountains are there.
Yeah. No, I think that's actually quite good, because when I was thinking about it, I couldn't quite get it either, but not in a way that's like confusing. The uncertainty is confusing. More like it's like you don't need to explain it. In a way, it's just there. It's like, I don't know, like also like nature. Nature is never explaining itself. It's just there, and that's also what you're like working with. Is kind of, these mountains and these nature elements that it's just there, but it's also like layered. You have a picture, like, and the drawing on the, like, you have a paper and the drawing on the paper, and then that's printed on another paper.
Yeah.
and then you draw on that, so it's kind of like really
Yeah.
multi-layered. That
Yes, a lot of layers.
yeah,
A lot of stages.
yeah,
But then the text is another layer altogether, and is
Yeah.
another layer in the mind, in a separate room, more or less.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was thinking also, like, I remember when I was talking to you about that, how it's presented. Really like how it's presented, the text in it. It reminds me of this kind of lecture cards, where you're gonna have like a presentation
Mhm.
or a lecture. And when I was reading it, I was really felt like I was having a lecture actually, like me, the reader, of like yeah. And then I'm having this lecture almost like for your artwork, like with your text, so I'm kind of telling this story. There's
Yes.
you know to the drawings or to the nature pieces. It's kind of telling its own story to itself, or something.
Did you mix them up?
No, I didn't.
You could.
I
And it'd be a
should.
different story.
Yeah, it'd be a different story. But that's also interesting because you don't have it like in a book, so you could mix it up.
Mhm.
There are also like many possibilities. Well, that's actually quite interesting because we were talking about the language. It's more difficult to have like multiple understandings,
Mhm.
but in this way, it's actually easy.
Yes.
Like if you mix it up.
Yes. Yes. I gave you that easiness as a gift.
Thank you, thank you.
It's also like so unavoidable that it will get mixed up.
Fall on the floor.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yeah.
hope so.
Yeah, it
That's so
is.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, they have elastic on, it keeps it in order, but
Yeah, but it's really
still,
like
you could
it's
mix.
really a lot, so it's really
Yeah.
easy to kind of like drop it or like mix it.
Yeah.
And
See, you
it's-
can't do that with your sculpture. You
No.
can't throw them on the floor and have them be a different sculpture.
True.
But I remember when I was also coming to see the exhibition for the first time, and I was seeing like one of the series in the second wall.
Mhm.
There were like 4 drawings, and I thought they were seasons.
Uh-huh.
Like because they had like different, like each one has different color, and I was looking at this kind of like a picture of a mountain, and then it's like you're drawing or painting weather on it.
Mm.
This kind of, and it's also like you're painting time on it in a sense, you know. There's a season, and then you have these 4 seasons, and then on a separate wall, you have this like a totally different drawing. It's really opaque. You can't see
Mhm.
through the structure,
Yeah.
and it's like dark blue. It's kind of like the night or something. And I remember I was looking at this, and I thought, oh, this is the 5th season.
Mhm.
Like this is like the lack of light
Mhm.
is the 5th season, where you can't see your surroundings, you can't see nature or something.
That's nice. I hadn't thought of that at all.
Yeah.
It's much better than what I was thinking. I was just thinking it was a drawing that came out of the printer wrong, and so I had to wet it and then color it again, so it got all sort of dark and smeary. So it really had no rationale. It was just a series of errors that got
Yeah.
corrected into what it
Into a
ended up
masterpiece
being.
of the
Yeah,
5th
into a
season.
masterpiece. Yeah, for sure.
No, it also like let me think about like the lack of light in Iceland,
Yeah.
like in your experience in that sense.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I was thinking too much about it. Like
It's a good thought. I did, however, do that drawing in Michigan. So it
yeah.
can't directly be about Icelandic
No.
dark.
Well,
but
in my mind it is.
in the mind of the viewer, it can be anything.
Yeah. You had also this, like talking about time, you had this piece with the balloons, this piece called Timeline, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, like take on time, because this piece is really like it's really quiet. It sits well in itself, but it's still so much narration in it. It's kind of like loaded with meaning in a way. Would you like to tell us something?
Yeah. It's really just about this ideal state of the object, and maybe the ideal state, like also of human life. Always trying to like put something on a pedestal when it's in its ideal state, and when it's not anymore, it's just kind of like swept under the carpet, or thrown away, or not like shown. So in this I was just thinking about like placing the balloons in their not ideal state. They've had their life, but they all end up in kind of the same form, but still different. So it's kind of like an individual life in each balloon.
Yeah, I also thought about that in connection to like the human lifetime, because it's like they're blown up on separate times. So like when one is really full of life, air, it's also what we breathe, kind of like, and then it kind of like slowly decays and kind of shrinks, and dies like humans do. It's kind of like this interesting thought about time in that sense, and also that because I think some tend to think about, and me included, like a time as kind of like moving thing or like this moving thing, but it's like the balloons are still like at their own place, like they don't move. They're still there, and just like time moves around them, and then
what's it called? That piece?
Timeline.
Oh.
But there's one drawing that's kind of different from the others. This is a monkey.
A monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got thrown in at the end.
Yeah.
Just to make it happier.
Yeah. I remember when I was looking at the monkey, you said the monkey's looking out for the art. Oh, you said the monkey's watching the art or something.
Yeah, because it's around the corner from the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know quite why it's there. It just seems to be a necessary coda to the mountains.
Yeah.
Mountain, 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 and then something else comes after.
Yeah. But it's a big part of the story also. Like
there is a monkey in the cards. That's
text.
true. Yep, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it is like.
It's coherent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the mermaid as also like some kind of a mountain, or the mountain morphing into the mermaid or something. Like I remember the mermaid really liked. The mermaid was not sure about the monk, but really liked the monkey.
Yeah.
It was really it was a nice thing, this kind of. Yeah. Also, I don't know. I connected it also to nature in a way, like animal kingdom of this kind of like. I don't know. Maybe that's too much thought in it, like uncorrupted or something, or I don't know. And also this humor in it, like this humor. I don't know. I think
mountains have very little humor.
Yeah, but the monkey has a lot of humor.
Yes.
I'd say.
Yes, and I think you need that in any artwork.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. And you have also, I think your pieces are really connected to humor, in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, in some way, it's not maybe always the goal.
No.
But it just happens sometimes. It's also something that happens when you make like mundane things, a little extra. They just become strange.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost feel like they're teasing you in a way, like provoking you in a little way, like what would happen if the stone fell? Like how, like, I don't know, also with this kind of boots, like, would you like to try? Also this, I don't know, this, and it's also like this, the humor, but it's not in your face. It's kind of like, it's there, but like little hidden. And also this kind of fan, you know, it's really, it's like serious in itself. It's really like loaded with, you know, saying what it is saying, you know, this thing, and you can like interpret it in many different ways, but it's also really humorous. This kind of like a floppy fan.
Yeah, it's really aggressive, which I kind of like. This totally mundane, really boring thing. It's like threatening to slap you in the face almost. So, yeah, that was something that was just like the first thing I thought when I thought of this piece.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also quite teasing and provoking, this thing, when it's like...
So there you did think about what the viewer would feel like watching.
I was more thinking about what I would feel like, actually, because I wanted it self-centered in that way.
It seems like the humor, though, is the place where the artwork sort of gets away from you, or looks back at you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's like its own independent
It has its own life and sense of what's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, that they have a sense of what's true. You can't really lie to an artwork, I guess. Like,
You can. Well, I don't know. No, you can't.
I don't think you can. Like, it always, and especially your artwork, it will always tell the truth. It can always like stare at you in the eye and say, "Are you being honest? Are you being honest with yourself?"
I don't know. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can't put that in, though. I mean, it comes out of the thing or it doesn't, but you can't put it in. Like, I want to be true.
No, that would be, yeah.
The monkey has to put that in from his side.
And the monkey's inside the artwork.
I think so.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
I think it's a good ending to this. The monkey's inside the artwork and is putting in the truth.
That seems like a fair conclusion.
Yeah. Yes. Great. Oh, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
this chat.
Thank you.
Wonderful.